Hey YouTube, Sam here. Well, I got these lights for the trailer. They're the Harbor Freight ones that come with the magnets on them. And quite honestly, I just don't trust the magnets on these very much. I don't trust magnets on any of these kind, Harbor Freight or not. But anyhow, last time I took my trailer out, unfortunately, some of the wiring kind of came loose underneath. I did a video on this. This is why I'm doing kind of an update. I did a video on how I wire these Harbor Freight trailers up. And unfortunately, when I went to buy this new one and to tear it apart, on these ones, the old ones, as you can see, they got kind of a nut and a bolt that screws on here, and that fits good into the side of the frame. Well, where we at? Right there. I got a hole I drilled. I can't remember if I drilled it or if it was already there. But either way, it fits in the side of the frame there, and then I just splice my wires into it. And that works really good unless you rip your wires off underneath here and have to replace everything. Now I probably could cut these and make those ones work again, but they're getting pretty short now. I've fixed those a couple times actually. But these new ones no longer have the screw going through this part. They're swedged in here, for lack of a better way of saying it. Now they don't have the screw that goes through. So when I put these ones on just to get through, because I needed my trailer, I actually drilled holes here and here, here and here, and just put big wood screws in it and screwed it into the 2x4 on the side of my trailer, and that worked fine. But that's kind of, you know, looks more redneck than even I want to be. So I'm trying to figure out a way to hook these things up. One thing I noticed about these ones as well is this little piece here. It's the ground that crimps in here. They keep falling off, so you got to kind of make sure that these are coming on. You might need to squeeze them down. I'm just taking my Leatherman. Now I'm taking my Leatherman here and, you know, kind of give them a little bit of squeeze sideways, and then you want to kind of go right down the center here and give it a little bit of a squeeze. Maybe squeeze on the top a little bit, just to, you know, tighten that up a little bit there. If yours are on there good, you don't have to worry about that, obviously. But mine, figured out what I want to do. First thing, you got to take the backs off. I'd already done that to do that. But I am going to actually reuse the backs unlike before. And so you got to pull this sticker off, or take the middle part out of the sticker here. It just covers up the nut and bolt here. And then on the other side there's a Phillips screw head, and you just take that nut off of the bolt there, off the screw there. And we're going to keep the magnet and use it for something else some other day, but you don't really need the magnet for this, so I might as well take it off of here. They're pretty good magnets. If it was on a flat surface, I'd be okay, but you can't really see them if you put them clear up on the fenders on my trailer over here. But so you'd have to use them on the side here, which, I mean, they are pretty darn strong, but just there's a lot of bumpy roads around here, and I just don't trust that a good jolt wouldn't knock them off. That's my personal opinion. I've never had any problems with them, but I've never used them that way. So another thing, you're probably wondering, well, they have kits, why don't you just go buy a kit for this? Well, these are actually always on sale for $9.99 in my hot rod magazines, and also the off-road magazines, pretty much all the car magazines and stuff. And I'm sure other ones have coupons, really good coupons in them. So I get these for $9.99, and I can throw them on here. I've been running it this way for years. You have to check in your state. They may want you to have all the other lights working with these. Unless you splice into the wiring, your front lights won't work, and mine are all busted up and no good anyway, so I just don't run them. But you'll have to find that out in your own state. I'm working on the left side here, and we have these are where the old lights used to be, and back here is where I drilled the hole for the other ones. Or what it is there was a bolt holding this on, so I may need to replace that, although it's on there all right. But I'll probably put a bolt in there at some point and replace that. But anyhow, and I'm pretty sure I had to drill it out a little bit bigger to make those work. So if you get the old ones and can make that works really well. And it sits in here up closer and behind this, so if you bang on things, you'll actually hit this before you hit your light. But unfortunately, I cannot use it that way anymore. I'm not going to go try and buy more to figure out if some of them are one way and some of them are another. But what you need to make sure the red light's towards the back, and we're going to take this and drill it. Now, I've just figured out one thing. There is a groove here and not here, so that's gonna make the wiring right there like that, and then I'm gonna put the top on it. So that would make it so my wiring's kind of coming out through here and going like this. I don't want that. So the first thing I'm gonna do is actually pop these off. They're pretty easy to pop off, and turn the lenses around. To do that, you just use a screwdriver in here and just kind of twist it like that, and they pop off. You got to kind of go around the edge and do it a little bit at a time, because they will crack if you're not careful. I've cracked them before. Then, now that we have that, so that's going to be up there and coming out something like that. One upside to this is you don't have to rewire all this stuff for this, putting them on this way. But then you're going to figure out about where this bracket is. Like I said, I'm going to do a little bit of bending on it, but for right now, the holes will be about right in that area. And this is one of the places where one of these kind of Sharpie, or the Markall or Inkzol Milwaukee ones, actually might work. But I tell you, these don't work for much else. They seem to work on plastic though. Alright, so then we got our marks. I'm going to drill those out, find a couple bolts, and bolt that up there. Simple as that. I don't think you need to watch me do all that. It's drill a couple holes, bolt. So that's the way it's going to be until something else happens and I have to replace them again. One thing about trailer lights, they tend to be an expendable part because they don't always end up where you want them at the right time. I bolted on there. I basically just took in through here, put about that size of bolt, seemed to work good. Put a washer on the front of it there, and then from the back, and then on the back I put another washer and a lock washer and a nut. So it kind of does this kind of a thing here, and then the bar in the middle, you know, goes in the middle. So that sandwiches it pretty good, and hopefully it don't break. Now I put the bottom back on it as well. Something you have to be aware of that I wasn't. I put it a little bit higher over here. I thought I had it down further, but it moved some. I might be able to actually loosen it up and bring it down because I made the holes bigger in this. But anyway, so putting the bottom on was a little bit difficult because I didn't want to squeeze up in there. This was hitting the bottom of this, so I am going to have to do a little bit more adjustment, but it's on there pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with it. You know, these aren't going to take a big blow or anything like that. They're breakable, but they do all right. They're cheap, and they're just the appropriate amount of redneck, I guess. So I'm going to do this to the other side. I need to run the wires. Go check out my other video. I have a video on kind of wiring this whole thing up, if I remember correctly. I can't remember if I did all the wiring or not, but go check that video out. I'm sure I have some other tips and tricks on wiring one of these up, and I think it is wiring a Harbor Freight trailer. So anyhow, if you're going through the same thing as me and they don't make them the same way as they used to, this is another good way of doing it. The upside to this, I don't know if I already said it, up and downside. Now this wire is going to go under here, and we got to make sure we get them wire tied up really well, which was my problem with the last ones. Some of the wire ties, I think, I must have went through some brush and just got a hold of it and yanked them all out in the back. It was in the back here. I don't know what I hit, but anyhow, you might have a little problem with it being exposed underneath here, so definitely take and get it good and tied up underneath here. Anyhow, this is Sam, Jack of all, Master of none. You all have a good one.